There we go. Started recording a bit late, but it is okay. All right, so we are back and we are going to go over some of the most important concepts in programming, especially object oriented programming. Today we're going to go over inheritance and what is inheritance and why is it so cool. Okay, we're kind of, we already did created an action with, that we're going to mess around with examples in here. And we have just added the name property to our class, and our class is called character template. So now our class has a name, and I mean we understand adding a property to the class really well, right? It's very easy. Sweet. So give me a good name for a knight. What's a good name? Oh, Arthur, I guess, right?
King of the Knights.
Yeah,
Britons.
yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't get better than Arthur or Arthas. Oh no, Arthur was a paladin, I guess. Okay, so here. So we got Arthur and Knight, and I got a character instance, and it's pretty sweet, man. It's pretty sweet. But okay, so this is a character template, and it holds information about characters, and it got some good stuff here, and it's got two methods. So yeah, so sorry, I gotta say this again because we just started recording. So this class has these beautiful properties: name, job, race, and these are properties that would normally find on a character a generation page somewhere, a simple one. And it has two methods. One is attack, which you give it which character you want to attack, and the other one is heal self, which heals itself. So the current instance. Okay. So we're good here. We have our instance. We have a character template. Call him Arthur, and he's a knight, and he's cool, you know. And just to be cool and everything, right? Because we have to take the opportunity to do this. What weapon would we give him?
Sword.
You guys have 5 seconds to answer.
Sword.
Yeah, but which weapon? Well, actually, you're right. You're right. It's Excalibur, but it is a sword. I could actually let's say Excalibur because we could just have any kind. Excalibur. Here you go. Excalibur. That's right. Excalibur. Is that how it is?
Yes.
Okay. So there we go. Hmm. So it's cool. It's cool de la. It's cool de la. So let's say we're creating a game. And I mean the character template is cool and all. But I want to expand or use other types of characters or create other types of characters that might have different information and kind of different methods and different properties. But they also have to have these properties as well. Because let's call these base properties because, I mean, pretty much all characters have to have these properties, right? I mean, does that make sense or do you guys agree?
Yes.
All right. Dan, are you there? Did we miss Dan? Oh, I think we might have lost Dan. Dan, are you there, sir?
hello. I'm still there. I
Oh.
don't know why you couldn't hear me. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, couldn't hear you.
I agree.
Okay, yes. I just making sure. Yes. So, so let's say we want to create other classes. And but we want those other classes to have a certain base characteristics, right? That way, all of them we want them to have a certain amount of yeah, base properties. I get characteristics. I don't know what you want to call it. Properties, I guess. Uh, yeah. So, and these are some of the base ones, right? So, in case, let's say I wanted to create a dragon. Um, a dragon would fit most of these, right? Or a magic user, right? Let's say if I wanted to create a magic user, a magic user would have most of these. But what is missing that a magic user might use here?
Spell.
Right? Yeah. And what else?
MP.
Exactly. Yes. So if we wanted to create a magic user class or a magic user template, uh, we would kind of this stuff that is missing here, right? But the full character would have to be this plus MP and spells. Correct? I mean, that is correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of other methods would he have? Attack is kind of a generic thing with a weapon, right? But
You'd want to cast those spells. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. You got want to cast stuff, right? So the base class does not have those because you probably don't need it. This is more of a template to be generic, and we I mean we could include it, but we don't want to do that now. We want to have a base class that have kind of base information and base properties for now. Okay. So um, let's do it two ways, right? Let's do the cool thing here. How well you and I, just the two of us. Okay, so just the three of us, right? Let's create a character, a magic user class. Well, how do we call it? A magic user character?
Spellcaster.
Spellcaster, yeah, yeah. A spellcaster, yeah, yeah. Let's call it spellcaster. I wanted to throw the word character in there, but I don't think we need it, right? I mean, it's implied. Yeah, I mean, we're smart enough to know that we don't need the word character in there.
It may not be a bad idea though.
Right?
In the future.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. So magic user character or spell user character. There you go. Boom. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I guess spell user character. Yes. Magician character. Sorry. Okay, so let's do it. How do I create a class first of all? Okay, Dan. It is up to you, my friend. You are on the limelight here. Let's create. Yeah, let's create a class called Magic User Character or Spell User Character. Spellcaster. Yes, Spellcaster character. Yes.
Spellcaster.
Yeah, yeah. So how do we do that? Guide my hand.
Would we want to copy the character template right off the bat and just
Okay.
cut into it?
We can.
Bash it a little.
Exactly. You see that's number one right here. That's number one answer right there. So copy paste. I'm gonna put it in the same place, right? So I'm gonna copy the character template and paste it in here. How else would I be able to start a character? I mean a class. You remember?
You mean like right-clicking and creating a new one from scratch?
That is exactly what I'm asking. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
you create a new item.
Yeah. So right click here. Add class. All right. So this pretty much would create a class, right? Like if I clicked on it, like what class you want to call it. I'm gonna delete it, but I'm just showing, for purposes, I guess, of learning. What is it? Magic Spellcaster, I guess. Damn it. Spellcaster. Okay, yeah, yes. Spellcaster character. And I'm gonna hit add, right? Because we want a class, and this is a class. And boom, there you go. And it's in the same place here where I created it. Here, Spellcaster character, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have created it. But I'm gonna delete it. Okay, this is good practice though. So let's do it the other way. How do I create it? So copy character template and then paste it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna call it what? Spellcaster template. I mean, yeah, Spellcaster character. Spell. Is it like this? Yeah. Character. I'm gonna accept that, and then we're gonna go to it. So obviously we're still on, we have the code for character templates. So first thing I do is what? Update the class name.
Yeah. Well, Spellcaster. Characters, literally the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So now we have a spellcaster. Well, we have a class. I mean, remember these things is still called. You have the same code pretty much here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's still cool. It's still cool, Dayla. So let's do it though, because this is a good good exercise, good example here.
So since we're doing it this way, would we still need the name and job and all that? Are we going to do it basically the same way that we did the template? Or are we going to run off the template and then add stuff?
No, I mean, we don't know what the template is. Basically, we want all the information from the template plus spell related information.
Okay, so we can add our MP.
Exactly. So so let's add. So what do I need to add? MP?
Public string, yeah. MP, I guess.
Okay, MP. There it is.
We can have, I guess, a spells.
Yeah, well, let's give it at least one. Yeah, now spell. What spell does it know? So let's just say one spell for now. We're keeping it easy, keeping it simple.
Magic missile?
Yeah. Keeping it simple is the spell here. And, I mean, we have attack and we have heal self. But this dude needs something new, man. It's a spellcaster, so what do you need?
Heal MP?
No. Forget about the healing part. What is the main thing that a spellcaster does?
He casts spells.
Exactly, yeah. So this would be cast spell. You see, the normal one, right, has attack, right? But this guy is a spellcaster, so therefore, he can cast spell. So let's just say he just casts a spell. So
do you want to remove the attack, or are we going to keep that?
No, we want to keep it. We want everything that the base one had, plus we want to add the spellcasting capabilities and information. Okay, so cast spell. Do we want a target? I guess, yeah, sure.
Probably a spell target, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess a character template type or who? How kind of yeah, I guess character template. Target. Okay. I hope your brains are ready, by the way, fellas. I hope they are. And this, let's just say that we write some code, cast some spell at the target. Okay. Depending on the spell. All right. Um, okay. Does that make sense? We're good so far. We added a method to the spellcaster class, and now we have a spellcaster, right?
Boom.
That is pretty sweet. So now I can somewhat say, hey, I have, I have Arthur, right? So how do I create a spellcaster? Anybody know?
var my spellcaster equals new my
That's
spellcaster.
right. Love it. Spellcaster equals new spellcaster.
And clone Gandalf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Or Merlin.
Yeah,
Oh.
that too.
Oh man, yeah. Merlin is actually, yeah. That's right. Merlin's for a little
Truthfully,
better.
Merlin was the inspiration for Gandalf.
Oh yeah, probably right. Yeah. It's like everywhere.
First.
It's like right there.
If you rearrange the letters, Gandalf spells Merlin.
You imagine that? Good job. Now, was he a wizard? I guess so. Some kind of,
Yeah, basically.
Sorcerer.
yeah, sorcerer or wizard or. That's a tough one. He was a spellcaster. Let's give him wizard for now. And I guess weapon. He don't have a weapon, but spell. Let's give him a spell. Yeah, we go fireball. You're gonna fuck people up with a fireball. Okay, so he's got fireball, and he's a wizard, and we got Merlin, and it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. And well, one more thing. Let's see my. So if I wanted to fling a spell at somebody, what do I do?
My spellcaster.cast.
That is correct. Yeah, cast spell.
Yeah.
And then who do we want to fling the fireball at? Let's fling it one at Arthur.
Poor
Yeah.
Arthur.
So my character here. So that would fling a spell at Arthur, right? I mean that's kind of what it does or what it do. All right. I mean that makes sense somewhat so far. That we have a spellcaster character.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Also in here, notice that you see this cast spell works to target things of type character template, right? So in effect, it cannot target what? You have 10 seconds.
Spellcaster character?
That's right! God damn it! God damn it! That is right. We create things. We shape our reality. We shape and choose how things work in our world. We created this spellcaster class, and we're creating its spells and methods and actions. And this this cast spell targets things of type character template. If we wanted to create something that targets other kinds of of types, other types. If I wanted to create something that targets spellcasters, what do I need to do?
We need to add or change a target.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. One thing that you could do in C#, which is sweet and it's advanced yet, is that you can do this. You could create a spell with the same name, and as long as they have different types and different parameters, you can do this. It's
That's
called
weird.
it's called overloading, and it's very powerful. That is, but we will cover that in advanced stuff soon. So,
Basically, the compiler will handle them as different things.
oh yeah, they are, yes, correct. Cast some spell at the target character template, right? And cast some spell at the target spellcaster. So in here, you might even want to do different things based on what kind of target, uh, you're choosing. For example, if you're targeting a spellcaster, then you might want to use certain spells or cast a spell in a certain way, or hold back or just go balls out, right? Well, if you're targeting casting a spell on a character template, then it's probably just some noob or something, and you could use just a fireball and not worry about them having magic or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if you're targeting another spellcaster, then you might want to be more careful because they could reflect that shit and fuck you up, right? So it all depends. But the idea here is that we are targeting, we are able to target different types with this spell. And we agree on that. We're cool. And if we did not have this, then we would not be able to target cast spells at this type. Because it just doesn't exist. The capability, because we haven't given it. So we have a very, very, very sweet. This is a very sweet class, man. This is nice. I dig this. Okay. How do you guys feel about this class here? Are you guys legit? Are you jiggy?
Yeah.
Okay. And so basically what we did, we made a copy of the base, kind of this class here, and we added a few things that have to do with the expansion of the class, or it's just the additional things that we put in there that we thought this class needed to be fleshed out. Okay, so for now, I am going to rename this class Spellcaster Part 2. Right? Blip. Okay. If I do that, it's just the name of the class, right? You could name it anything you want. Okay. And you guys, of course, are aware of what's happening here because you guys, that's what we just did. That's what we're doing here. We're creating stuff, and it's cool. Okay. And again, don't be confused with this. You could name a class anything. You could name it Dildo Baggins, and doesn't matter, right? And here. All right, so we created this, and because we're the masters, we're creating the matrix, and it's all good. So far we have created the Spellcaster class two ways, correct? One, from scratch, by saying, hey, add a class, and then call it whatever you want, right? Spellcaster. Caster character from scratch. And then what we did here, what we could do is basically just do the same thing, just copy and paste into here. But instead we just chose to copy and paste and rename. While we could have just copied and pasted and then kept the name. Is that clear? It is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, somewhat, yeah. It's easy. It's easy stuff here, yes. So therefore, I'm just gonna delete this because it's the simplest case, and I know you guys understand it. How to create a symbol from scratch. Okay, so now we can move on to the nitty gritty, the gusto. Okay, so now I have a character template. Now let's reset. Let's start from the beginning. I have a character template and I want to create a spellcaster class. And I want to call it spellcaster character class. And let's do that. I'm going to do it like we just did right now. Add repetition, baby, repetition. It's very important. And it's a class, and I am going to call it Spellcaster character. All right. Shablips. Okay. So this is where the cool stuff comes in. As I was talking about before, in object-oriented programming in C# and many other languages, like C++, C, Java, all that good stuff, we have something called inheritance. Okay, what is inheritance, you ask? I am glad you asked. Okay, so what inheritance is, or what it allows you to do, is to inherit pretty much everything from a class and use it as if it was something of that class. Okay, so don't blink, guys. You pay attention here. So if I were to do this, you see those two dots over there? You see them two dots? That means inherit. That means inherit, and then from. And if I put this here, now in your mind, because you guys are cool, what do you think that means now?
The spellcaster character inherits the properties in the character template.
That's
class.
right. Yes. So it inherits the properties, not only the properties, what else?
The methods.
Yes. It inherits the methods. So let me show you. So just by doing this bad boy here, look at that. So we got spellcaster character, and then we got some sweet characters here, right? So now spellcaster inherits character template, and this is empty somewhat, right? I mean, for now. But let's go to the controller and let's test it out. Let's test it out. I'm going to create something of spellcaster. So my tasty. Actually, let's just call this spellcaster. Sorry, let's keep it spellcaster. I do like mine though. That's a good one. So spellcaster equals new spellcaster character. Should I delete this so we don't get confused, or you guys know that this is a total separate instance, so total separate class, right? I mean, you guys know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even play with it later.
Was that? Sorry?
I said, yeah, we could keep it. We could maybe even play with it later. It's
Yeah.
compare notes.
Mm-hmm. All right, so right here. Yeah. So we have spellcasters here, right here. All right, so notice that spellcaster doesn't really have a lot of stuff in it. But I just created an instance of the spellcaster, which inherits character template. And if I were to type spellcaster dot to see what's inside, Boom! Do you guys see that?
All kinds of goodies.
Yeah, yeah. So I can attack just like the character template, can. I have heals. I can heal self. I have HP. I have a job, level, name, race, and weapon. And I have all of these because I am inheriting everything, which means I own everything that character template has, which is pretty cool. So this is kind of the parent, or it's called the base class. Say it with me. What is it called? Base class.
Base class.
Base class.
Yeah, base class. That is it's very important for you guys to remember that base class because that is a keyword. Base class. So I mean that kind of makes sense. It's the base class, which is the class that this class is somewhat based on. Okay. So do I need to expand on this, or I mean, does it make sense? Well, let me just.
It makes sense.
Let's see. Inherits class property. Yeah, for our nodes, and methods. Okay. Character template. So now we have a spellcaster, but we haven't given any spell. So now we have all the behavior from the base class, the base character template, but now we want to add things that have to do with spellcasting. So like we did before, how do we add things that are for spellcasting part? So which properties do I need to add?
Public, integer, MP.
That's right. Let's see.
Whoa.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah.
Let me show you a trick. You type prop, then you hit tab twice, boom. And then, what's the other one? String, spell, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of nice shortcuts, which you kind of get used to after a while. So, public, int MP, and spell, and let's say method, public cast spell, and then let's give it a target. We want to target, I guess, character templates, target, and cast some stuff. Oh, this is cool, right? Let's cast to other people too, because we want to be able to cast, like people up or old types. We don't discriminate, and we want to cast other spellcasters as well. Target. Some more stuff. Spellcasters. Okay. So we have expanded on the base class, the base object. And we did this, using the character template. And now we have a spellcaster, which is pretty nice, pretty nice. So now we have a. So let's create a spellcaster. Let's create, I guess, Dumbledore. Let's create Dumbledore. Let's give him a little of Dumbledore. I guess he will be a wizard too. Job equals wizard. And, well, what spell does he have?
I don't know the Harry Potter spells.
Repugnant.
Repugnant? You gotta have, better.
Let me see.
Avada Kedavra. He's gonna fuck everybody.
Oh,
Vada
yeah, that's one of the spells.
Vada Kedavra. Oh, okay. There you go. He's gonna fuck everybody up. Although I don't think he would use it because it's one of the forbidden ones, but okay, let's let him use it. He's pissed off. Okay. So Dumbledore is gonna be fuck everybody up with this spell here. And if they fail it when he casts it, if they fail the saving throw, or if he manages to hit, the person dies. That's pretty sweet. So this is pretty cool, though. I mean, right here. So we have a spellcaster, and we have a character template, and that. So you guys sort of get this, right? I mean, it's somewhat decent and straightforward. And so let's say that I had a door, right? There's a club that says, hey man, only character templates can come in here. I have a door that says, hey man, there's a club that only people that are character templates can come in. Okay. This is gonna be a quick example. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but just to plant a little seed.
Only the templates can go through?
Yeah. So let's say there's a club, and you're coming in with your boys and your girls, right, and your friends. And yeah, man, I'm sorry, man. Only character templates can come in here, man. And they turn to Arthur. It's like, yo, man, you could come in. Go ahead. Boom. Why can't he come in? Go ahead. I just said it. I mean, we're just making stuff up here. Because it's a character template club only, right? You guys there? Hello? Oh, I think so. Hold on. Hello? Hold on. Let me stop sharing and then sharing again. That's weird. Dave, you there?
Oh,
That is weird.
all kinds of weird stuff today.
Yeah. Let's check. Let's give Dave a minute.
I figured out what was wrong with my Ghost connection.
Oh, what happened?
I have two Wi-Fi devices, and when I reset Windows, the one that I don't ever use was enabled, and it had all my network stuff. So it just plugged in, and that's loud.
No, that's
And
weird.
it was not showing up in the networks, but it was still there.
Yeah, that happened to. I was troubleshooting a problem like that. One of our email servers. It had two NICs. So yeah, it had two NICs. So it was kind of just using or expecting one, while it was trying to send or I think get email from the other, and it was like, what the hell? Why isn't this working? What the hell? But
yeah, that's confusing.
You know how it is. All right, so let's get back. Dave, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we're back. We're all back. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get back into the groove before we lose it, because this is a very important groove. Okay. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so again, let's go back. This is kind of a side example, but I think it's important. So let's say we're we're hanging out at a club, all these dudes, Merlin, Arthur, Dumbledore, and us, we're hanging out. And we're going around to clubbing, we're clubbing. And there's a club that says, hey, only instances, only people that are character templates can come into the club. Okay. So Arthur can come in because he is character template, right? Can Spellcaster 2 go in there?
No.
No, man, no. It's like, no, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Merlin. You just don't fit here, man. I'm sorry. It just, hey, if I could, but no, we don't want your kind here. Okay.
It's a muggle party.
Yeah, it's a muggle party. No magic users allowed. But character temples can go in. I mean, character template can go in. And so Arthur can come in. I mean, we agreed on that. Okay, so then notice we're going to go to Spellcaster 2, right? Merlin. We're going to go to Merlin. Merlin is just his own class. He's chilling. He's pure. Right? He's a pure wizard. And it's like, hey, man, I'm sorry, muggle blood only. Human blood only. So he can come in and he cannot. Okay, what about Dumbledore? He's a spellcaster, right? Dumbledore is a spellcaster. And let's see, is a spellcaster. What does spellcaster look like? Oh, so a spellcaster is sort of a character template in a way, right? So do you think that if we encountered a club that says, hey, only character template people can come in, would Dumbledore be able to come in? Because he's a spellcaster.
I would assume that yes, he inherits that quality.
Okay, Dave, what do you think?
So yeah.
You can both say yes. And you are both correct. Cha-ching!
Whoa.
Yes. So Dumbledore can come in, even though he's a spellcaster. His blood, his base class, is a character template. So you could do, what he can do is like just show his character template side. Like just show him, hey man, like take out his ID and say, hey man, look, I'm a character template too. You see that? That's my base class. Those are my peoples, right? These are my peoples. I was born.
It's an amazing set of metaphors right there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that is true. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm good with them, and so let me in. So Arthur and I are gonna go and have a good time, and Merlin, he's gonna go off to the wizard club, and we'll meet up with him later on. Okay, so I'm just gonna touch this quickly, but I want you to know, and I want you to be familiar with the term. I mean, you guys sort of know, or you know exactly what inheritance is, right? Yes. Okay. The next idea or concept, it's called polymorphism. I'm pretty sure I misspelled.
That's where you turn it into a sheep, right?
Exactly. Is that how you spell polymorphism?
That is how you spell it.
That's right. One try. Get it on the first try. So, 16 here. Let's give it 18 because it's cool here. Okay, so polymorphism is the ability in programming, just like the club, to be able to treat certain classes as themselves in their base. So as its own type and other types. So basically, it's the ability of classes to be of more than one type at the same time. or be able to get the behavior from certain types when it's convenient or wherever they want. Okay. Did that make somewhat a little bit of sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just write it down here. The ability for classes to be treated as different types. Different types. Okay. Well, at the same time, I guess. At the same time, or when it's convenient. When you choose. That last part is a bit tricky, but you will come to understand it a bit better. Well, like the club that only allows character types. And in this case, I will use the Spellcaster example, because I think it's very important. In the case below, Spellcaster. Sorry, Spellcaster character is itself, well, is its own type, right? And it's also of character template. It's also can be of character template type. That I'm not gonna go too deep into this right now, but I want you guys to get the idea or have the idea or be aware that a class can be more than one type and that you can use it as either sometimes as one type or another type. And that is called polymorphism. And it is one of the main tenets, or well, tenets of object-oriented programming. Even let's go to Google. Let's see. I'm going to type main 3 tenets of object-oriented programming. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Boom. Isn't that cool?
Nice.
That is pretty sweet. Actually, there's 4. There's 4. Let's just say there's 4. And look at that. There are actually 4 because a lot of people include this somewhere else, but it really is its own. Yeah, so look at that. We got inheritance, and we understand inheritance. We understand that shit, right? We know all about that because we are cool. Okay. And we have an idea sort of what polymorphism is. Right? I mean, somewhat. We have a vague idea. Actually, we have a really, really, really solid idea. I'm just, yeah, we understand what it is.
It's not a difficult concept.
Well, it's not.
Getting used to doing it is maybe another.
Yeah. We actually kind of got it pretty quickly, but sometimes for some people or sometimes the way they go about it is not easy. But we're pretty lucky that we're able to kind of get it. All right, in programming languages and type theory, polymorphism is the provision of a single interface to entities of different types, which is sort of what we did, right? Which is just one object can be treated as something of different types, right? So it's fine. Top answers, look at that, that's nice. But that's cool that we just looked up this and boom, there it was. Plap. I may save this for later. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna save this. I think I'll do that. You guys use snipping tools? Snipping tool is the best tool in Windows. Look at that.
I had to look it up. It was I haven't used it in a long time, but it's so easy.
It's so good. Look at that. You just plap. I want to save this um, for tenants of programming, and then blap, and it's safe. Easy peasy, beautiful cover girl. Okay. Yeah. So today, up to now, we have gone over inheritance, which we know, and polymorphism, which we have a pretty solid idea of what it is now. We will be using it intensely and inherently, because once we start programming, or everything pretty much is polymorphic and object-oriented programming, one way or another. Well, most things anyway. So far so good. Okay, we understand that now we have a base class, and we can inherit another class to save work, and to make things cleaner. But most important of all, I want to give you why. I want reasons from one. One of you give me a reason why we would want to use inheritance here. Like, why would I want to have, create a character and have another base, and basically inherit or get everything from another class? Dan, first of all, do you understand my question?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
We could use the basic template to create pretty much all of our NPCs if we wanted to, and then we would inherit those on the ones that are more complicated, that we want to do other things with.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, in fact, we could create a base object that could act as the base for pretty much all or most of our classes or objects, right? Especially we want to build on them. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's exactly what you said. I might have overcomplicated it. Sorry. Go ahead, Dave. Your turn.
Done.
Was that
Less redundant.
exactly another one?
Ooh.
And both of you are hot. That is exactly. That is another thing. You don't want one of the main tenets, probably number 5 or number 6. It's to limit code duplication or eliminate it at all. If you, as a programmer, duplicated code, if you have the same code, this doesn't apply to us because we're new programmers. You know what I mean? Feel free to duplicate as much code as you want. And also, when I say duplicate, I don't mean copy and paste. I mean having certain functionality duplicated in different places when you could just have it in one place.
Have 10 different functions or whatever that essentially do the same thing that could have been combined into one.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. So that is an amazing. Man. Both of you are hot. That is an amazing use why we would want to use inheritance to save work. And really, that is, and you will need to save work because you can't create everything from scratch. But I am going to expand that and give you an even more important, well, not even more important. I'm going to give you a very important expansion on what you just got, what you just said. What if there's something called character template, right? And it's a class out there somewhere that somebody else created. And remember how we talked about how code is packaged into DLLs? It's compiled and put into DLLs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When that happens, you cannot look at the code. You don't know what the code says. That's kind of advanced. But yeah, you don't know what the code says. In a way, you could find out by using reflection and stuff like that. But that's advanced stuff. But yeah, so you cannot, when you package the code into an executable, you don't have access to read the code. All it is, but you do have access to the class, and you can inherit the class and its behavior. What I mean by you don't have access to read the code is like you have access to the functions and properties because they're public, but you do not know how they work. You cannot see inside these things.
You put them in a document, you would get gibberish.
Exactly, yes. You know that it has, let's say that I were to inherit something from the character template or from some other class, right? And I would have access to all of these. Remember, I am telling you this. For now, just take it on faith because this is sort of how it works. So character template here. And let's say that I'm inherited and these are public, so I will know that I have access to them. And I also know that I have access to a method called attack and a method called heal self. But I myself don't know how they work. I don't have access. I cannot read this. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to assume that it does its job and that it works. That's all you can do, really. The reason I am bringing that up is that you will need to build and expand objects that you don't really have all the information on. So you're kind of taking other objects that exist out there and making them better and building on them. Even though you don't know how it works, but you have access to the functionality and the properties. So you can just expand on that, inherit it, and add your capabilities, your new capabilities and your new functions, and use the old ones. What I'm trying to say here is that you don't need to know how this works, as long as you have access to the functionality. For example, well, I know this is a bad one, but if you had a car, right? Like you can use a car, right? But none of us, well, not me, I'm kind of sucky, but maybe you guys might, but do any of you know anything about cars?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. So let's use me as an example. I can use a car, but I don't know how a car works. But I could still use a car and paint it and do cool stuff with it without knowing how the insides work. But I can still use it and drive it and do things with it. Did that make sense at all? Hopefully I did not confuse you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that you can take things and inherit from them, even though you might not know exactly how they work or how the insights work. But as long as the functionality is there, you can use it to make your object bigger and better and stronger. And that is one of the important powers of object-oriented programming. So we're gonna do two more things. I don't want to bang your heads too much, your brains, I know. But let me just do a quick show and tell here and ask you a question. We did this before, and before we had no clue what it was. But now, let me ask you a question. We're on the home controller here, and this is the home controller class. Now, do you see something? What do you see?
inherit. Yeah.
Yeah, so home controller inherits something of type controller. So there's a controller class out there that does a whole bunch of stuff. How do you know it does a whole bunch of stuff? Because if I were to take this away, all that you would have left is this, which is not a lot, right?
You're gonna take all its power away. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's like removing somebody from like making a prince not be a prince anymore, right? It's like just or taking somebody's magic power away.
Taking his Schwartz.
Exactly, yeah. Just steal his Schwartz or his mojo. Exactly, yes. Just take it. And I don't want to scare you, but I am gonna go to the controller and see what we find. Okay. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go to well actually I think it's implementation, that definition. And that don't look at this. Don't look at this. Don't worry. Ignore these dudes here for now. Yeah, so this is controller. Oh man, so look, does controller so controller adds these things here, right? These don't get confused. It just adds new properties, right? And does controller inherit from someone? It does. It
Going down the rabbit hole here.
yes, yeah. So I'm not gonna go too much into it, but it inherits. So it's like the grandfather and the father, and each one adds functionality and properties to it. So that's pretty cool and that's really powerful, right?
If you don't like something a controller does, you could go down in there and
Exactly.
code and make it do your thing.
Exactly, yeah. And that is powerful. That is extremely powerful, and that is good that you guys understand that. It means that you have power over the bases, and you could take a base and make it your own or change it how you want to. I don't want to bang your heads too much. I mean, you guys have understood this, and I don't want to really hurt you guys too much. But let's just do one more quick example, and then we will call it a night because we've done good work here. Now, you guys are going to help me with this because we already did it. The next class that I want to create, since we created a Spellcaster, I want to create, give me 1 second. Let's say a tracker. I want to create a tracker. Actually, I don't know. A tracker any good? A hunter? Actually, yeah. Hunter. Let's create a hunter. That is the best one. So if I wanted to create a hunter character, now this time, I wanted to create a hunter character using the base character class. So I want to inherit the base character template and create a hunter class. And we're going to add hunter stuff to it. Okay, Dave, play me off. How do I create a hunter character class?
Public class hunter character :
God damn it.
character template.
You're ahead of me, man. You're ahead of me. So I'm going to add the class. Got to add the class first, player. Hunter character. There we go. So we want to save time here, so we're going to inherit the base class, and our base class is a character template, right?
Yes.
So now we have all the power. That's right. Power of Grayskull, baby. We have all the character template powers, plus now we're going to give it new hunter character powers. So, well, a hunter needs a pet, a companion pet. So, let's see what kind of pet Let's call it companion. Should we call it companion pet or pet? Yeah, actually just companion because it could be more than, I don't know, a companion. Yeah, let's call it companion.
Is it a companion? Is it a what's the word?
It's like a wolf. Oh,
familiar.
I think the wizard would have the familiar, the spellcaster.
Okay.
Yeah, hunters have companions. Yeah, that's kind of a difference. We should have we could give a familiar to the spellcaster too, depending on what it is. Okay, so in addition to the character, the base class, the hunter character has a companion, pet, and what kind of skills does a hunter have? Well, go ahead. I mean, I know one or two, but give me one if you can think of it. It's easy for me because I play a lot of like RPGs and stuff. Well, how about tracking? Does a hunter track?
That'd be a good assumption. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna create a method, and since he tracks, there's gonna be a method. And let's say track. Well, track character. And we're gonna say it's a string and name. So remember, we're just making this up. And then here we're gonna track the character with the name. Well, with the name, or just, god damn it, character, track the character name. That makes sense. There. Boom. So we have expanded the behavior and the properties of the base class, and because it's a hunter, and and that's cool. So now we have a hunter class, and we say, you see how fast we did that? We're like, boom, we got everything that this dude has, and we added new shit, and boom, now we have a hunter class. We're gonna keep it simple. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could come up with something to give hunter. Yeah, but for now, let's leave it like this. So, how do I create a hunter?
My hunter.
That's right.
New
All right.
hunter.
That's right. Hunter character equals new hunter character. Okay. And let's call it name. What are some good hunters?
Dritz.
Yeah, Dritz is actually, is it like this?
Yep, that's how you spell it.
That's right. First time, my friend.
Companion's a panther, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Is it?
It's a panther.
He does
Wait.
have it, I think. Is it?
Yeah.
What?
Companion pet. What kind of pet does Dritz have? What's his companion?
It's a panther.
Okay, so yeah, it's been a while. So, he has a few books.
Forgotten Realms. I forgot all about that.
You gotta get with the program, baby.
Oh man.
Gotta get with the program.
Time.
Gotta get in here, man. You gotta get in here. Are you with us now? See?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. It is a panther. We're nerds here, my friend. We're nerds.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yes. So, Driz, yeah, he's got a panther. And what kind of weapon would he have? Oh, a bow, I assume, or something, right? Maybe.
Scimitars.
Oh, you got bow. Ooh, baby. Okay. He's got two of them. We're going to put an S in there. Well,
Panther and ice and death, something.
damn it. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. And we could have him track. We're looking for Dumbledore because, oh no, who was it that got lost before because he couldn't get in the club? Merlin. Yeah. So Merlin couldn't get in the normal club. So let's look for him. He went out drinking somewhere. So if I wanted to track, use one of the methods or actions that hunters can do, track character. Let's see. And give it a name. We're looking for Merlin, correct? And that's, I assume that that is going to track him. We could be super cool, and instead of returning void, we can return a string signifying the location. Right? Return location or something, right? Keep it simple. And then we don't have to use the value, but if I said, hey, string location equals, hey Hunter, go track character Merlin and return the string and put it here. So this is where Merlin would be. Again, we can choose to do this. We don't have to return anything, or we could. It is up to us. All right, so so far so good. So you guys see and feel the power of object-oriented programming, polymorphism, and inheritance. Well, mostly inheritance. And you guys can see how cool it is, right?
Yeah.
And pretty much everything that you will be working with is a class or is inherited from another class, or yeah, that's pretty much it is, because it builds. It's like one base class, or one class is based on another class, and then it's based on another class. So it's until you create. So it's like building blocks until you create something robust. By the way, all let's see, all classes in C# and .NET inherit. Let's see, .NET or all our objects in .NET inherit from the class object. Everything that we create is also something of type object. An object, don't really worry about it. Don't let it bother you too much now. But an object is kind of a formless class that can pretty much be anything. That's why it's the base for every class. I will expand on this later on. But so let's say I had an instance of an object, right? I can put anything inside. Remember how boxes represent spaces in memory for us? Instances, correct? An object, imagine an object is one of those boxes, and anything fits in there. But when you put it in there, it loses its shape and its form. And it becomes kind of just bland and white and doesn't taste like anything. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the base object or the base brick or building block for all the classes. Just forget everything I just said for now, but just keep that in mind, all right? I don't want to, I think we heard your brain enough today. So give me from 1 to 8, from 1 to 10, how do you guys feel about today's lesson? Should I delete this object thing and bring it back later? Yeah. Oh. Ah, crap. Oh, good. You guys can't hear me. Did we lose it? Oh, okay. Crap. That is weird. Mm, This is odd. Hmm. Yeah, let me restart. Yeah. Yeah, I'll introduce this later. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. So, Dan, can you hear us?
Yes.
Is that Dan or Dave?
Me.
Okay, that's Dave, right? Okay. So now where's Dan? Let's see. Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah, I think we seem to be having a problem today. So, I think we could just call it here. Let's see. Tech problems. You guys cool? Upload, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna upload this into Discord and update the sheet. All right. All right. So are you good with the stuff we learned today?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, we're gonna be we're just gonna call it for now, and continue a bit later. I think Dan. Yeah, I think we're all kind of. Um, yep, we're all chilling. Okay, later. Take it easy. I'm gonna package this up. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay.